Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's continue with the series of ideal romantic partners. Today it's ATEEZ leader Hongjoong turn. So I'm going to read for him. And I also wanted to remind you guys that even though my list is almost complete, like I do not have much spots left, I would love to see more recommendations for female idols as well. I see that a lot of the people that recommended me these readings were all about male idols. So I would love to see some diversity here, if it's possible. If some of you are fans of a certain female idol, I would like to read for some female energy as well. So let's talk a bit about Hongjoong's energy. He's a Scorpio sun with a moon in Gemini, and I believe his Venus is also in Scorpio, because I can see here a lot of traits that remind me a lot about Scorpio nature and actually what they find ideal. Let's start with the archetypes that he got. He had the archetype of guide, servant, pioneer, and angel. And the card from the oracle of the angels, he got the card of codependency. So yes, seeing this overall, definitely like I have to be honest, he definitely wants someone that has like a very down to earth personality, someone that is very devoted, someone that is very private, probably someone that is like a home person, someone that doesn't like to be in the spotlight, someone very reserved, like a homebody, also someone that is very motherly, very devoted, that just makes him feel at home. I think that and it makes sense, because they definitely spend a lot of time like working on the outside world, with a lot of cameras on their faces, with meeting people, but also in this environment of exposure. So I totally can see from his point of view of being a Scorpio that he actually what he finds ideal is someone with a low profile, someone that is not very like into being the center of attention, someone very like humble, someone with very strong values, but very selfless at the same time. Because here, starting with the guide, it's a very spiritual card, and at the same time I think that I don't know why, but it reminds me that probably Hongjoong feels like he needs a guide in his life, especially coming from the person he loves, or someone that he finds romantically ideal for him, or like a perfect match for him. I think that he wants that person to guide him when he feels he cannot take it anymore. I feel like he goes through moments of extreme exhaustion, and sometimes he cannot disconnect so easily, especially like thinking about this moon in Gemini that he has. Probably he's someone that overthinks a lot. It's someone that he can just not stop thinking, and stop. It's like he's always working. He's always like immersed in responsibilities and in finishing things and in perfectioning things. So probably for him it gets a bit overwhelming, and he just needs that kind of person that can be like a guide, like a light at the end of the tunnel, and that can pull him out of this some kind of like trance that he goes through, this kind of like emotional like turmoil that he's in, that sometimes he doesn't know how to remove himself from that state. So I think that this is why the guide archetype is here. He needs someone to get him out of his obsessive thinking, or maybe he's over analyzing things. He just needs someone to get him out of there. Probably he's a workaholic at the same time. And I'm saying this from sensing that it's not that other people like put a lot of responsibilities on him or a lot of work to do. I think that is the way he manages himself. Probably he's someone that he just cannot sit still. You know, he has like a lot of desire to actually make like a very good contribution when it comes to production and when it comes to ideas. So it's like it's part of being who he is, that he is like a workaholic. Then we have the servant. The servant, definitely, when I see all these archetypes, I can see the archetype of a Pisces. You know, like someone that has like a very strong Pisces placements also in their birth chart, because you know, the servant is someone that put other people's needs in first place, and it's someone that is not a victim. You know, it's not someone that is he forgets about themselves, you know, and puts all their energy into others. It's not like that. You know, a servant is someone that they do things for others because they enjoy it, because it's part of their nature. You know, we need like people of service in our life. You know, it's not just about taking, you know, and it's not just about having people with the archetype of leaders, you know, and being like, oh yes, I know what I want, so I know what I have to ask for what I want. We also need givers, you know, we also need people that can provide us with what we need, people that can be gentle, people that can be like have a very sweet soul. And when I think of the archetype of the servant, I think of someone that is very devoted to be of service to others, and that this person doesn't feel like less of a person because they have this servant archetype. I think that sometimes the word servant, it's a bit like it has a lot of preconceptions, you know, and probably a lot of people have like a negative connotation of it. But actually, we need people of service. We need people in our lives that can be capable of providing that we need, you know, from a delicious meal, from, you know, like arranging our clothes, from, I don't know, like reminding us of our schedule, or from, I don't know, making like a warm, cozy bath so we can relax. You know, we need these people that do this from the bottom of their heart, and because it's also like a calling to be of service of others. You know, it's not because you don't have a choice and you just go. You know, I think that we need to rethink again about what does the servant archetype um, what does that make you feel, you know, because it's not that sacrificing, you know, there's joy in giving as well. And then we have the archetype of the pioneer. So um, I think that he also admires someone that in their own ways and in their own profession and probably in their own talents, that this person can be original, that this person can have a very original way of doing things. You know, probably he does pay attention to someone that is very organized, someone that has like these small and funny routines. You know, probably he does find also someone that is very intelligent, you know, because I don't think that being a pioneer is like a synonymous of intelligence. But I think that there's something about being open-minded, and there's something about you having the ability to let new ideas come in your way, and sometimes I think that being a pioneer is also being able to make room for new conceptions, for new ideas, for new thinking, for new ways of doing things or living life. I think that he definitely wants someone that can be resourceful, someone that always comes up with a new plan. Someone that is like, okay, we can turn this situation upside down and we can find an outcome that can benefit us. I think that and when I think about this, I think about someone that is kind of like a sorceress, someone that is like a magician, someone that with the resources that they have, they can make great things happen, even though sometimes the situation, it can seem like it has no solution or it has no remedy. I think that he wants someone that can, with their themselves, being pioneers of bringing joy and happiness in very hard times. I think that definitely what he's showing me here is that he does have moments where he doubts himself a lot. And I think that he definitely needs an emotional support. He needs someone, if his ideal partner has to be someone that needs to sort of anticipate his needs, and that they can have this very telepathic kind of communication, where they can look at each other and be like, okay, I need you to be with me. And I would feel very comfortable if I don't have to ask you or have to tell you with words that I need you. It's like that person can be very perceptive and also like very gentle with him, because I think that sometimes he does frustrate with himself a lot, because he does feel like he sometimes puts himself into very extreme situations. And I think that this has to do with work. I think that sometimes he does forget about himself, or he doesn't take care of himself properly because he's thinking about being productive. So I think that this is why he needs someone that is so caring, so that can take care of him like a mother, something like that. And then we have like the last archetype is the archetype of the angel. So yes, definitely here they see this he wants someone that is very sweet, that is very loving, is very compassionate, someone that has a gentle touch and a very gentle way of actually making his heart melt, and that somehow he can let his guards down with this person. I think that he wants to be treated lovingly. He wants to be treated with kindness. He knows that sometimes he can have a very harsh temper, that sometimes he doesn't know how to communicate properly, especially when he is under stress. So he needs someone that can be this soothing, this almost like this augment to his soul, this very gentle breeze, this very loving and warm energy that can inspire him to be also gentle with himself. Because I think that sometimes he's too harsh on himself, or he doesn't let go of errors or past mistakes. I think that he blames himself a lot for a lot of things, and this also guides him to be in a very moody kind of state where he just cannot stop blaming himself, and I think that sometimes what he's showing me here is that he does understand that sometimes he can have like a very irritable or very like, it seems like he's I'm sorry. And this that I have this trouble in my throat again, it's because he is having hard time. He's having a hard time like expressing how he feels. And he's a moon in Gemini. But when it comes to emotions, he is really hard-headed. He's really stubborn. He doesn't like to go that deep. But I think that he considers that when he is in a bad mood, he can be mean, or that he can have this very strong Uranian kind of temper that he is not easy to live with him. So I think that what he wants is someone that can understand that even though he can go through periods of him feeling that he's in a really bad mood, or that he's really stuck, like, or that he's really serious, or that he's no fun, and that he's upset, and that he has this very like volatile temper. I think that he wants this person to understand that this is just manifestation of how hard, how harsh and critical he is on himself, that it doesn't have to do with the people around him, that it's not because he doesn't want to be with them, or it's not because he doesn't enjoy their company, or it's not because he doesn't love them. It's just that he sometimes gets so focused, so concentrated on getting a job done, that he just forgets about being nice. Or probably he stops talking, he stops responding, he's not present. So he definitely needs someone that can understand that, that can understand that it's not personal, that it has to do with the way he does things. And maybe sometimes it has to do with the fact that probably he's also a loner, that he spends a lot of time like doing things on his own. So he doesn't have, even though he can be very intuitive, sometimes he can be selfish, and he doesn't like contemplate. He doesn't contemplate what the other person is feeling. So this is why he wants someone understanding, or someone compassionate, an angel, basically, an angel. The less our archetype like summed everything up. And then the card from the angels, the oracle of the angels, the card that came out is codependency. I think that this is something that codependency, it reminds me a lot of Venus in Scorpio, actually. That being codependent is not, it's not an easy trait, it's not something that you should be proud of. But I think that I understand that behind all these mood changes, and behind all these fears that he has, or uncertainties that he does have, he needs someone that he can rely on. He needs someone that he can trust. And probably he is codependent. So this is why sometimes it's hard for him to open up his heart to someone, because he knows that when he starts feeling really intense feelings for someone, he knows he will start to get a bit intense in relationships or in bond. That he will probably be very possessive, or be a bit controlling, and being a bit like, demanding the other person's attention, like whenever he needs it. So like I mentioned before, he can come off as being a bit selfish in relationships. So I think that he is aware of this, and at the same time, this is why he wants someone that can be very loving and compassionate toward this part of himself. because he knows that it's not a positive trait, but he cannot help but to feel that way. It's like it's a sort of manifestation of how he knows how to love. He wants to modify this, but he needs to have experience, of course, in love. And I think that he he wants someone that can understand him, that can be, that doesn't like take everything like too seriously or gets offended by the intensity of his emotions. I think that he wants to be understood so badly, but nevertheless, I think he needs to work on himself. He needs to work on the way he communicates, because like I mentioned in the beginning and through the reading, there's a lot of things that he needs to work on, because it's like the ideal person for him can come into his life and can be very loving and compassionate, and can be like of service, and can be really nice, and can be an angel. But actually, if he does have this kind of attitudes where actually he can be a bit like mean, or he can be like cold, I think that he needs to change that, in order for him to keep that person by his side. I think that he also, even though here I can see by all the interpretation that I did, that he is very self-aware of his flaws. He's very self-aware of his bad habits, or that he knows he's aware of how he behaves or how he reacts when he is under stress. But at the same time, this doesn't mean that he cannot change it. If he is aware of this, he can change it. But yes, the ideal romantic type for him would be someone very loving, someone with a very sweet nature, and probably he would want that person to focus only on him, probably like staying home, or probably like working, but not like long hours. He doesn't. This is where I see the card of codependency. The first thing I see is that he definitely wants also someone that is codependent of him. He doesn't want like a very independent figure. In his, probably he's not fully aware of this, but I think that inside of him, he definitely wants to feel like that person also depends on him. So he doesn't want like someone with a strong temper, he wants someone gentle, someone sweet, someone a bit naive at the same time. He finds that very ideal. But yes, this is all I have for Hongjoong. So I hope that you enjoyed it, guys. And if you did, please, I would love to hear your feedback about this, and also how you feel about this. And please don't forget to give a like to the video. It would mean a lot to me, and also it would help me for this video to get to more people that are interested in this kind of content. So thank you so much for being here. Bye.